Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Najwa Ashkin binti Azhar, and together with my groupmate, Sister Nazirah binti Razali and Sister Romlah binti Hashim, we're going to present to you for an interesting topic, which is Malay students should relive Silat, the traditional heritage. So, Silat is a martial art that has been deeply rooted in Malaysian culture, and this traditional heritage has been passed down from one generation to another generation among the Malay peoples. In 2019, Elimpun has mentioned that the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization (UNESCO) has recognized Silat as part of the traditional Malay martial art. Although Silat has been recognized as the traditional heritage that Malaysians proud, nowadays people seem to be more interested in other forms of martial arts that originate from other countries, such as Japan and Korea. Examples of those martial arts was judo, karate, taekwondo, and kickboxing. The fact that the fate of Silat will be left in the hands of young generation is a bit worrisome as they do not seem passionate in upholding their heritage. Therefore, it is critical to emphasize the importance of learning Silat, particularly for Malay students, as they will be responsible for determining the future of Malay traditional heritage. Therefore, the three main reasons on why Malay students should relive Silat, the traditional heritage, was first, Silat practicing important religious value. Second, it is an important skill for students. And third, it is important in improving quality of life.
Firstly, Malay students should relive Silat because it consists of important religious values. Practicing Silat does not oppose Islamic law. Instead, it emphasizes the Silat practitioner relationship with Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. According to Engku alumni Ahmad and Tengku Muda, Malay Silat rituals are parallel with Islamic rules, as the rituals does not involve any features of mysticism. This means all of the practices in the Silat were guided based on the Sharia and does not contain any element of Shirk. As we know, any behavior that reflects superstitions is prohibited in Islam. This is in line with the Persatuan Seni Silat Cekap Malaysia rule that emphasizes on the practitioner dependency toward Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala through prayer even after completing the Silat. Some people, especially for those who do not learn Silat, may easily misunderstood Silat rituals as practicing mysticism. For example, the notion of permission, ijazah, sit and sleep on white clothes, line bath, and many more. Each of these rituals actually does not oppose Islamic teaching, as it were done to receive the blessing from Allah and the teacher, included for body cleansing. These rituals can be considered as a common practices in Silat. The action did not hinder any implicit meaning. Instead, it portrays gratitude and cleanliness in Islam. Furthermore, Silat employs Islamic values in its teaching, as it allows the practitioner to practice Islamic values such as performing dua, recite shahada, perform ablution, and even obligate the practitioner to perform prayers. Practicing Silat may encourage the practitioner to always remember and depend on Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, which benefits their spiritual. For instance, performing prayer requires a high level of concentration, which can be done by understanding the recitation words that mostly means praises toward Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Other than that, Silat also included good moral values such as the value of obedience, value of patience, the prohibition of lie, and many more. These values play important roles in the practitioner life, as it can be a guidance for them to be a better person. This indicates Silat does not focus only on the self-defense aspect, but also the growth of individual as a person.
So Silat should be relived by Malay students as part of their cultural heritage because it is an important skill that students may apply in their real life. According to Shafi'i and Ilyas in 2016, Silat is Malaysia's own form of self-defense. The self-defense skill is seen as an important skill that needs to be learned by them because it can protect them from danger, being bullied, and therefore stopping the enemy from harming them. Malaysia has been dealing with the issue of bullying in school for several years. Based on evidence provided by Malaysia Ministry of Education in 2016, there seems to be a concerning trend in the amount of school bullying cases in Malaysia from the year of 2008 until 2015. We can see here, in 2008, there were about 3,107 bullying cases reported in Malaysia. Meanwhile, in 2015, the cases reported was about 3,011. Although there was a decrease in the number of bullying cases, this issue was still concerning for many people. According to the news from the Star Online, one of the most notable bullying cases took place in 2016. The case was about a second-year student who had snipped off the tip of his own tongue using a pair of scissors after he was bullied doing so by a group of five. As we know, the effect of bully will give back impact to the victim. Some extreme cases will lead to the committing suicide. So, how can self-defense skill be able to help the student from being harmed? First of all, by learning the correct skill on how to defend ourselves. A study by Vidya Stutu, Karim and Pradip Yana in 2019 found that the basics of defending are evasion, dodging and surrender, which must be learned first in order to improve the defensive tactic that can be used in conjunction with the attacks. Therefore, by practicing the skill repeatedly can help the student to master the skills. This skill of martial arts will benefit them in a lot of ways. The ability to defend oneself is regarded as a valuable skill that students can cultivate because it can shield oneself from danger, being attacked or being harassed, thus preventing the enemy from harming them.
The third point is Silat can improve our quality of life. Quality of life can be defined as the well-being of a person or an individual. This definition shows that our quality of life is closely related with our well-being. On the other hand, martial arts are suggested to have a positive effect on a person's well-being and overall health condition. Therefore, for students, by practicing Silat, they can improve their quality of life by enhancing their well-being. For students, well-being is an important factor that can keep themselves to focus on their study. For example, emotional well-being play an important role to help the student to cope when they are undergoing unfavorable circumstances, such as when they are having a lot of assignment to be completed under a short amount of time. So, by having a good emotional well-being, they would be emotionally stable and be able to cope despite the unfavorable situation. So, by practicing Silat, the students can feel more relaxed when undergoing this kind of stressful events. Furthermore, Silat not only improve the students' quality of life by enhancing their well-being, but also by improving their self-concept. What is self-concept? So according to Mulyana, self-concept is defined as an individual feeling about themselves on how one sees themselves in relationship with others. So self-concept is important for people to build reputation, boost confidence level, and in exploring their competency as well as unknown competency. For students, having a clear self-concept can have a positive impact as they are able to understand themselves better. By understanding themselves better, they are able to know what is their competency as well as what they are capable of. And through this, they will be able to decide on which direction they will go after graduating, instead of just going with the flow as experienced by many students nowadays.
And the study by Mulyana also revealed that a positive self-concept can help in building a good character. For a student, having a good character is important, as we as the younger generation are expected to be the future leader of Malaysia. So to conclude, for a student to have a good quality of life, it's important for them to improve their well-being as well as improve their self-concept. Next, we will continue with Islamic perspective on Silat. Because the nature of Silat or any other martial art that can be seen as violent, there might be people questioning what Islamic stance on Silat is. So actually there is a discussion among Muslim scholars on martial art based on Surah Al-Anfal verse 60. According to Muslim scholars, Yusuf Al-Qadrawi, he stated that learning martial art is allowed in Islam and might be obligatory for those who are at the risk of being attacked or being physically assaulted. When we learn martial art, we will be able to defend ourselves from the attackers. In a hadith narrated by Sunan Abi Dawud, Prophet Muhammad SAW was seen to wrestle with a man named Rukana for more than one time. So this hadith shows that Islam allowed and encouraged learning martial art to defend ourselves and also to strengthen our body. This is because in another hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah, Rasulullah SAW mentioned that a believer who is strong and healthy is better and dearer to Allah than the weak believer. There are various opinions based on this hadith. Some scholars say that strong believer in this hadith is referring to the believer who have stronger faith. But another opinion say that strong believer in this hadith is referring to the believer who are physically strong. This is because a believer who are physically strong would be able to perform salah with a longer raka'ah, be able to fast, be able to perform hajj, as well as be able to fight with the enemy in a jihad.
In conclusion, Malay students should relive Silat because it benefits them in encouraging to practice Islamic values, enhance their defense skills, and contributes to a positive quality of life. There are no elements of mysticism found in the Silat ritual. Instead, the Silat were included with various Islamic values that can be practiced in life to improve oneself. Furthermore, practicing Silat allows Malay students to enhance their defense skills, to protect themselves from being harmed by others. In addition, practicing Silat also contributes to a positive quality of life among practitioners, which benefits them physically and psychologically. As stated by Khalid in Life with Developmental Assets outlined by Search Institute, Malay Silat fulfill most by instilling positive values, enhancing social competencies, and allowing the formation of positive identity for its students. This indicates practicing Silat resulted in a positive outcomes for the student. Instead of wasting the time surfing the internet or doing unbeneficial things, Malay students should be proud and relive Silat not only to preserve the traditional heritage, but also because of the benefits it offers to the students. In order to preserve Silat, it is suggested for the government to relive Silat by making it a compulsory co-curriculum for elementary school children. Perhaps by introducing Silat early to the children, they might become interested to learn Silat, which would reduce the children's time engaging with unprofitable activities such as excessive playing video games, surfing social media, watching cartoons, and many more. That's all from us. Thank you.